That's coming in. We'll just wait a few minutes for everybody to get in, and then I'm going to get started. Okay, good afternoon. My name is Laureen Zarba. I'm the Technology Training Manager here at LIBOR. I teach all the One Key MLS programs and Stratus. I've been teaching for a long time. So welcome. This is the second Stratus, free Stratus webinar that I put together. We did one beginner one last month, and we'll do, this is the intermediate, and we'll do an advanced one in December. These are all pre-recorded. I'll tell you where you can access those so that you can watch them again, or somebody couldn't make it. And they are located at the LI Realtor site /COVID. Give them a couple of days to post it, and that'll be available for you. So this is a 1 hour, no CE. You guys, your cameras are off and you're all muted. Okay, that's how the webinars work. As I go along, you can put your questions into the chat and I'll periodically check it for you. We do have, believe it or not, 560 people registered for this. So I knew people wanted this. It's nice to have something free, and everybody needs Stratus, and a lot of you are new agents or you just need a refresher. It's always good to take this. And you know, I've been teaching Stratus for, I hate to admit it, 20 years. Okay, so you're in good hands. So I have my objectives up here on the screen, and what we're going to be doing is I'm going to start with public records and creating a farm, and then using locate surrounding properties, especially for the new agents out there that probably just starting out, and creating mailing labels. We've had that for a while, but a lot of people don't know how to do it. I also included how to find sales in public records, because sometimes they're selling private and you need to have access to that. And you can also incorporate these private sales from public records into your CMAs. So people don't really know that. I'll show you where that is. And then we're going to look at our market, our crazy market that we're in, that where our listing price was the starting price, and are things changing, or are they staying the same? Or we'll take a look. I'll give you some ideas on how to study your market. I start with the price change. I do a little report on that, price changes in your area that you can do. Then we're going to go into closed, sold, what's happening with the sold market. I usually do, and I will do this with you, something really kind of cool. We put together a report to look at the fields that you want to. And I'll show you how to do that where you can save it. Then after that, we're going to be putting in a CMA. I have it set up already, so you don't have to watch me type, but I'm going to put all the comps into a listing cart. And there is a button in our Stratus CMA that empties the cart in and all the comps come in. So that might be a new method for you to do. Then I see some of you have chats. I'll just look at it in a second because I can't see them right now. Again, welcome if you're just coming in. I also added something because a lot of times our listings are not attached to the public record, and you're looking for the history or how many times it's been on the market, and you go, wow, I know this was on the market last year and it's not saying that. I'm going to show you how to use the archives to pull up things that were on the market, how many times they were on the market. I have a lot of little tricks like that in investigating properties. And then our help support center, which I'm always showing you so that you know where to go. Okay, so let me just take a look real quick at my chat here. Oh, you guys are putting your names in. You don't have, welcome everybody. You don't have to put your names in. It's not a CE class. That's why you have no camera. You could be wearing your pajamas. I won't know. And you're also muted. So that's why the chat's there. We have about 166 people. It's growing as we go. I told you there was over 500 people registered. So that's really exciting. It tells me that people want this and you need it. Stratus is your MLS system. You need it. So I am going to, hold on. Go into Stratus. Let me get out of my PowerPoint and get into Stratus. You should be able to see my Stratus screen right now. And we're going to start off with the objective. So this is an intermediate, not a basic one. We do have the level 1 class recorded. You can find it on the LI Realtor /COVID hub if you want to take a look at that. It's going into searches and prospect matches. So we are going to be starting here with public records, okay? Some people really don't know about the uses that you have, and you have access to your public records right from here on Stratus. Now, if you have your sidebar activated, because this is the default for Stratus, you can just click on public records over there. I toggle mine to the top for many reasons. I don't like it on the side because it takes up too much space, and I can't see the count button when I'm doing a search because it's pushed off the side. Did you know that? So you might want to toggle that to the top also. So let's start with public records. On public records, it's great that you have access to this. And I'm not sure why that just did this, but we will log in again. Let me go to LI Realtor. And while some people are still coming in, you know, this happens once in a while, right? And you should be using Chrome. I tell you that in all my classes, especially with Stratus and all the applications that you have benefits to. Okay, here we go. I did move the Zoom bar out of the way. So public records are right here. So how do you farm an area? In public records, that's anybody that owns a property, right? So right now we have Suffolk, Nassau, Queens, and Brooklyn. They tell me that we will be getting the upper Hudson Gateway people that we merged with for 1 key. I'm not sure about that, but that's what I heard. So right now we have Nassau, Suffolk, Queens, and Brooklyn. And also just an FYI, they don't use Stratus. They use a system called Matrix, but we all see the same listings. But in here, now, if you don't know the county, you don't have to put it in. So that's one of the things. And if you don't know a town where somebody's located, you don't have to put it in. Love that. Less is more. I always say that when I'm teaching public records. And yes means no, and no means yes. And I'll tell you what that means in a second. So I'm going to pull up a property just to get you started. You can search for an address. You can search for a person. You can search for certain properties. You can search for solds, which I'm going to do with you. And you can search for list pendants, which are people in distress, the property. They might more likely be likely to sell. Okay, I mean, sue pending in Latin, but we're not going to do that today. So I'm just going to pull up a house in Hampton Bays. I have a few towns to do with you. So I put the town in. Remember, we're in public records. We're not in MLS, the listing part. And I just want to pull up a house. It should not be on the market. Put the address in, and remember that the street number and the street name are separate. And you don't put the suffix in. It is 54 Kyle Road, but I'm not putting road in because I'll lose it. So here, I have it here. Count. Less is more, remember? If you have 0, don't be putting more criteria because you won't get anything. All right, here is the public record. I'm going to start with this one. I had somebody in my class the other day who was in public records. It's just amazing what these little ranchers are going for now over there. And I study the market. I love studying. I love numbers, and especially we're in the real estate business, so you keep an eye on this. So these little ranches have gone up a lot in price. So this is a public record. It looks like they live there because it says non-owner occupied, no, which means yes, they live there. The property address and the mailing are the same. You get 3D transfers in your public record, starting with the most recent. Sometimes you get information, sometimes you don't. It looks like this guy bought it in 2015 for $369. and somebody bought it in 2011 for $269. And then you get your listing history. And you only get your listing history if the agents link to the public record. And we're going to address that because you don't have to. We want you to. But if they don't, how do you get something like, how do you get this information? So let's just say, for instance, you sold this house, it's your house or whatever. You can, this is what I put into my curriculum for today, is to locate your surrounding properties, which will do a farm area around the property. Maybe you're having an open house and you want to invite the area to your open house, or you just sold the house and you want to let people know, or you're a new agent. All those little streets around a property that you forget the name of, it will do it for you. So I love this button. It's above every property. It's called Locate Surrounding Properties, and it will pull up the properties that are within an eighth of a mile around the house. Now in Queens and more of populated areas out in Nassau County, you might get an error, not an error message, but a bulk farming download, it means. And I would just maybe grab a group of them using these shapes here. So right now we're okay. It's not saying anything. Then you go to the list, just like you do with listings. So these are all the people that live within the vicinity of that particular property. I want them all to know whatever it is that I'm advertising, and more people are using mailing labels, I hear. So you have them in Stratus, you might not know it. This is the way I'll do it, is in print. There's two ways to do it. I'm gonna just click on print. Make sure you go to detail views, and then you're gonna hit this drop down and go to 5160s. Okay, that is a basic Avery mailing label. Now, mailing address might be different than property. If they are coming from the city, they have a second home, and Hampton Bays I know has that. And also if they're renting, and then you just click on print preview. Okay, and then you get mailing labels. It couldn't be easier than that. So you'll notice that I put Hampton Bays in, but you're going to get other cities in here. Okay, like Brooklyn, Hampton Bays, and that's because it's property address. So just be careful with mailing labels, that you get the right one, that you know what side your printer's printing on, things like that, that can mess up your labels. You can also do this. Let me know if you can't see that second screen, because sometimes these little pop-ups that I'm doing here, detail views 5160. I'm going to replace the homeowner's name with dear neighbor, whatever you want, because sometimes the spouse's name is not in there and they get upset, you know, or sometimes then they passed away or whatever, and you just want to just do it to your neighbor. So that was the first thing I wanted to show you. Let me just look on my chat. I just jumped on. I have no audio. Can you please review this one more time? Because I have so much to show you in an hour. This is going to be pre-recorded if you just got on. So not to worry if you missed anything at the beginning. And there's also a level 1 that's already in there in the LI Realtor /COVID site. Alrighty. So that is your mailing labels. So whether or not, you know, sometimes I just do my street, and public records, you know, I just put my street name in, pull up my neighbors. And there's so many agents out there that tell me that they invite the neighbors to their own open house. Just an interesting idea to think about. And you could do that with your mailing labels if you want to do something like that. All right, there is one more thing I want to show you in public records that you might not be aware of. So in this lesson today, in this webinar, I'm going to be checking the market, doing solds and availables and pendings, maybe if we have time to do pendings, but also what happens when somebody on your street sells their house, a FSBO, they sell it privately, and you want to incorporate it into your comps. So there is a way to do it in Stratus, and I'm going to show you how to find that. So in public records, I'm going to do for this one, I'm gonna do Patchogue. Okay, I don't have to put Suffolk in. It knows Patchogue. There's not too many Patchogues running around out there, but I'm doing it for just to start you out. And I'll do Patchogue. Patchogue's where I grew up. Wait, it's some town now, isn't it? Okay, now in the public record sheet, and we could spend the whole day in here, but we don't want to. So there are a lot of things. D date is like the title date is when we do the MLS search for solds. Now I use T dates because that goes back before we had calendars. And I know some of you know what I'm talking about. You can use these calendars. The T dates are a little faster. They're a lot faster. T means today. So I do T minus 180. You'll see me do that again in my searches, which means today minus 180 days, 6 months ago. So I want to know everything that's sold in Patchogue. I could put a street in, like my street or whatever, and do that. But there's something else to remember. I'm going to get lots or commercial and stuff like that. I don't really want to look at. I only want single family residents, or maybe you want duplexes, whatever you're interested in. But where is that? And they move things around, so I have to look too. So I wrote it to, it is in property description now. So it's not property class. And here's property description. So if you click on the gear in the public record, if you are looking for different certain types of properties, take a look at all of this, and they change depending upon what county you're on. But all the counties will have single family, which is what I want, single family residence. You see it down here? And then you press continue, or I could type it, will come up. So there are 76 that came up in Patchogue, and some of them could be private sales. And I know there's one because I already checked it. So how do we know? How do we know? I usually go by the pictures. If there's a picture, they're definitely linked from MLS. All right, if there's no picture, they probably didn't. And there was one down here that I'm going to be using with you. It is 35. I think it was this one. See, there's no link, and I checked it on MLS. So this is a private sale. So if you wanted to include it into your CMA, you could do it. And I'll show you how to do that. Okay. Everybody's interested in that. They love that. Oh, wow. That's really cool because you know what? I'm using MLS and most places are on MLS, but this guy decides to sell his house by himself. So now how do I use that property? Okay. Any questions? Let me look at my chat. Yes, it's recorded. Okay. I just read all of that. Anything about public records? Okay. I don't see anything in there about that. All right, let's go over to the listing side. You know, one of the things, and we talked about this in the level 1 class, is, you know, checking your market and setting up your market. And I'm not doing that in this class, but that's a good indication of your market. But this report that I'm going to show you next, it's called the price change report. I came up with it because of the market that we're in. And since I've been teaching this for so many years now, although I'm very young, just saying, is that I've seen it go up and down. I've seen the market change. It changed after Sandy. It changed before that when we had all those short sales and everybody was selling it. It was just, it doesn't stay the same. And you need to keep an eye on what's happening, especially you as a real estate professional. And Stratus can be one of the ways. You do have other options, but we're learning Stratus. And the price change, this is how I do it, okay? I'm going to do price changes. I'm going to pick a big town like Huntington to do this one. So we're going to do on the markets, right? We'll do solds too. So we leave this houses available, which means they're on for sale. And we're going to see what's happening in Huntington. So now I'm in the MLS search part. Before I was in public records. I just type towns in because it just takes me too long to find the town when I click on the little gear, unless you don't know how to spell it. There's a lot of towns in here, right? The other thing you want to do is you want to go down here and go to last status change and put in price change. Here it is, price change. See, did you know you could do that? So there are 25 price changes in Huntington for the 4 sales. Now, at the beginning of the summer, these could have been going up, but they still could be going up. Let's just see what they're doing. So let's press submit and take a look at the listings. You know, you sometimes get these red arrows pointing down and it'll tell you the percentage of change. Here's one in Huntington on Kerry Place that decides he's going to put his house up. See the red, see the green arrow? He's going up 8.5%. Now, sometimes they see that with the new construction, but I'm not sure. Let's just take a look at that. I'm just interested because I saw a lot of them at the beginning and now you don't see too many of them right now. So this guy was, look, he was $599 and he's going to $649. He went up $50,000. Ooh. Interesting. Did he do something different? I don't have time to read all of this, but that one went up. Here's my question, and I don't know the answer to it, is why do some of them have arrows and some of them don't? Although their price changes. I'm thinking that the newer price changes have these indications by red arrows going down or green arrows going up. But they're all here because they're a price change. You see that in last status change? But what was the original price? Because I don't know. Did it go up? Did it go down? What happened? So I'm going to be showing you how to create these reports. You ready? I want to know what the original price is, and it's not here. So you can add, these are called field headings. You can add them, you can delete them, you can move them around. I love doing that. If I click on list price, at the bottom, it says add a column. And I'll do this for solds too. I add original price, which I love. This gives me such a window of information. So now I have the listing price when it first came on the market, okay? And what the price is now. So this one, the first one was $5.25, and now it went down to $5.10. You see that? So it went down. This guy went down from $6.29 to $5.99. This one went down. So this is telling me there is a change in the market, right? Because, and I've been doing this for the months during this pandemic, and what's been happening, you know, they've been going up in price, selling for higher prices. So now I guess since the weather's changed, this guy went up. Oh no, he went down. He went down. This guy went up. I think that was the only one that went up. So you can do this in your town and take a look at what's happening with the prices. So every single one of these went down in price, except for that one guy that wants an extra $50,000. So how do you save this? I knew somebody was going to ask me that. Even though I can't hear you, I know what you're thinking. These headings can be saved, and I call them reports, okay? And they're not saved for the specific town, like Huntington. They're saved for any town. So that's so cool because you can use it anytime you want for any town, just to see what's happening in a market. So what you do is, you ready? You click on customize because I want to save it with original price. And you don't have to do anything with all of this. Just go down to the bottom and press save and give it a name. And I'm going to call it price change report. Okay, and I press save. So now the price change report is up here in this window. So when I do another search, it's going to go back to the default, which is, this is what it looks like. And then I go, oh, let me put my price change report in. And it's be in this drop down, price change report. And now I have the original price. So any town. So this is the power that you have with manipulating these fields and saving them. Don't change your default. I probably would not do that. You could do that for this one. It's not really going to hurt anything. But when we get into sold, sometimes it messes the default up. We good? I guess let's do one more town like this. so I can show you. And I will do, let's see. Let me go to the North Shore. Oh, Huntington is kind of the North Shore, isn't it? Let's do Comac. People always ask me about that. It must be pretty big. And then price change was down here in case you missed it. I'm just going to type it this time. Price change. There's only 5, right? Only 5 price changes. So how do I know if they went up or down? I grab my report that was called price change report, and I can look at the original prices, you see? So each one of these went down in price. So that's an indicator, right? We're in fall. They haven't sold their houses for a lot of money that they want. And now the weather's changing. There's more competition. There's more supply in some areas anyway, which will bring the prices down, as we know, right? So when there wasn't any supply and we had a bunch of buyers out there, everybody was just asking for like a crazy amount of money for their houses, and they were getting them, right? That's where everybody decided to sell, except for me, not selling yet. So that is your price change report. Does anybody have any questions on that? When doing a price change report, do you cross-reference how many price changes you have in available listings versus how many total available listings? Oh, wow, you sound like my kind of person. All right, so I do a lot with downloading this stuff into Excel and doing some kind of calculation. I'm going to do that in my next class, the advanced one, but you can download to Excel and see what's happening as compared to the prices and days on the market for availables and things like that, because we don't get days on the market for availables, right? But there's a way to do it in Excel. Another class. Okay, deep breath. All right, I got 203 of you. Thank you for coming for my Stratus webinar. This is the second one. This is a level 2 intermediate, and then I'll have one in December, so look out for that. They're free, they're recorded. You can watch them a few times, kind of get a little brush up. Let's look at solds now, because we are, in a crazy market and we want to know what's selling. And I'll show you some interesting things you can do with that. So listing search. Herman has his hand up. Oops, whoopsie. Put it in chat, Herman. I'll take a look. Yeah, somebody's asking about registering. Yeah, you could register with a different email. It's free. This is a free webinar. So we don't, have to keep an eye on you. All right, so we're doing sold. I'm going to do houses that are unavailable. Now, I'm going to put this in at the end because I think this is fascinating. I'm not doing it now. It is the archives. You guys, it lit up. Here, let me show you. It's kind of really gray. You can't even notice it at the bottom, but it lights up when you go to unavailable. Unavailable means they're off the market, right? It doesn't mean they're just sold. They could be expired. They could be pendings. They could be withdrawn, released. They could be whatever, temporarily off the market. There's a whole bunch of things. But the archives will allow you to go back, because it'll only show you 2 years. It'll allow you to go back 25 years so that you can see what the property histories were on properties that are off the market up to 25 years. Isn't that kind of cool? So if you wanted to investigate a property that was on the market 10 years ago, or the house you were living in now, you'd have to go to the archives. Otherwise, you will only get 2 years in the past. So I'm going to, if I have time, I have a little note here. I'm going to show you that. I'm not doing archives because I need to find out what the current market is doing right now. And we're doing sold. So let's press continue for that. I always use Massapequa for this because it's a big town, but you can do anything. There's something really, really, really important you need to know. And that is you need to put a title date in. Otherwise, I'm going to get all these houses. There's 2,000 almost here. And I'm going to do T minus 180 like I did in my public record. Okay, T means today minus 180. You know, the beginning of the summer to now might have changed. So you could go back less. Like, what would 4 months be? T minus what? 120 days, right? Stuff like that. Our standard is 6 months, so I'm sticking with it for now. And if you come in here and you go, well, Laureen, I don't have a title date. I picked unavailable. Well, what happened was you didn't uncheck available, and that's why you don't have a title date. So make sure you do that, uncheck available, and only check unavailable. People do that all the time. Just know. All right, so I have, look how many houses sold here, 332. Wow, wow, wow. So these are solds. Here they come up. And now I have my list price and my sold price. Now I teach this in a seller's class, and if you're taking a class with me and I'm doing solds, I usually show the class this because I think this is so worthwhile to know. All right, this is great, Neri, but this guy made, he made $1,000 extra dollars. Okay, this guy. This one went up too. Wow, see, different area. List price sold, but we're not in price change, we're in sold. So that means they're still out there with the buyers are trying to buy in this area. Must be really, Massapequa is a hot area if you're from Massapequa, you know already. But if I scroll way to the right, days on the market, which is really, really important, is so far away, you don't even know it's there. If I didn't scroll, you wouldn't know. And it's DOM, days on market. And what I do for this is I drag it. You know, you could do that. That was worth coming for. I could drag it way to the beginning. Here it is. Oh, wow. I actually dropped it in the right place. That's a first. So it's right next to sold price because shouldn't it be there, right? How many days did it take to sell? Days on the market. Here's something else. Statistics and counts, or they call it statistics now, has always been up there. People go, has that always been up there? And I say, yes. So your statistics right here will give you the statistics of the listings that you're looking at. And the median price is usually what we look at, but you have the averages here. You have the mode here. You have the lowest price, the highest price, you see, and what exactly sold. So I always like to look at the styles. 80 colonials, you know, colonials, everything's a colonial. What I always say, they don't know what style it is. They say it's a colonial. So we got to be careful with our styles. 78 splits. If you print this, there's a little printer up here. Let me click on this. If you print this, your name will be at the bottom, where you work, your cell phone number, it's branded. I love this. And you can refine it to certain areas because you can put in your CMA, bring it to a listing presentation, show it to a buyer, show it to a seller. There's no broker information on here, only your stuff. So that's called statistics. It's located right here on the, I call it the toolbar, okay? All right, let's get back to the report. I'm going to add something like I did before, and we're adding original price, okay? So I do that on my sold reports. I did that on the price change report. Now I can get a feel on what's going on. Okay, sometimes the original price changed, sold. Price change, wow. Okay, wow, wow. This guy was really low, I guess. And he sold it for $150,000 over listing price. Unbelievable. In 17 days. Now, when the market starts going into a more level market, a more, you know, not such a seller's market, I don't want to say normal, it's not a good word, but when you start seeing that, this report will be really useful for your sellers who think they're going to get a lot more money for their houses because, well, wow, well, so-and-so sold this house last year for, you know, $200,000 more. You can show them this and say, you know what, this guy here, these houses are selling in 20 days, okay? But this guy was 204 days. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Let me go back. 204 days, where'd that guy go? I'll say this guy, because he was overpriced. And you can just show them right there. He was overpriced. He was on the market longer. Okay. The ones that were priced right, they sell faster. And you know what? It's easy for them to understand. And when they understand, things work out, right? So that's why this is a good one. And this is an extra thing I put in here. And the agents love this too, is I'm going to add a field here. Really, you don't need it for this report, but it's called moved from. It is a must enter field in your listings. And isn't it interesting to see where people are coming from that are buying houses in your town, right? And a lot of times, especially Massapequa area, they are selling their house in Massapequa and buying another house in Massapequa. So that tells you, where do I market my stuff, right? It will give you an idea on, what is, are they coming from the city area, or I made a joke yesterday. Are they coming from Florida? No, but once in a while I do see some of those warmer states coming in. But that is a good one too. So let's see if you remember, and I know you're muted, but think, how did I save that price change report? I went to customize because I have to answer for you. And then I press save, and I give this one a name, which is going to be called sold report. You could call it whatever you want. So I can use it for other towns, correct? You got it? Okay, so now you got the feel of what I'm doing. Okay, we're checking out the market. We're seeing what's happening. There's still some that are getting over their listing price. There's some that are going down in price. So we're in transition here. We're definitely in a transitional market now. So how do you comp properties that are in this kind of a market? I picked one in Patchogue that I'm going to do with you. And we're going to do a CMA for this, okay? I use the maps for my CMA. I didn't go onto the map with you. Here, I'll just show you. If I click on the map. Looks like Macy's is having a big sale. Okay, everybody's having a big sale. So you can see where all the solds are. These are all the sold houses in Massapequa. Who wants to look at all of those to find comps? You'll be here all weekend. Okay, so I'm going to show you quicker ways to do it. All right, let's, here's the house I'm going to do. I'm going to do Patchogue because I have a property, 35 Arlington Street. Actually, that guy sold his house in 2015. And he was a for sale by owner. I found him in public records. You might be a good lead, especially 2015. That was a different market. So we're going to do unavailable. Now, what I'm doing, this is the way I'm going to be doing my CMA, is I'm going to collect the comps ahead of time and I'm going to put them into a cart. Got it? And it's called the listing cart. It's like a folder. And then I'm going to create my CMA and dump the card out, and I have a CMA. It just seems to be a little easier. It's new. We didn't have this for many years. It's just new. So I'm going to do unavailable, press continue. I don't know what style this house is, but I think it's a ranch or a cape, kind of one of those little houses over there, 3 bedrooms. So I'm just going to be really general. Okay. So some of you out there, well, Laureen, you don't really know the condition of the house. No, I don't. So I'm just showing you the system. Of course, you're going to have to look at the properties and the square footage and all of that kind of stuff if we find it to come up with more precise comps. But since we don't have a lot of time, we're going to just do the quick way. I'm going to put in 3 bedrooms and 2 baths here though. Okay. I'm going to put my T minus, remember, T minus 180. And I'm going to press submit. Now, you can look at these if you know the area, but I don't look at them until I see where they are. Let me put my sold report together here. I can look at that. Look, this guy sold this. Oh my goodness. He listed for $299, sold for $425 in like a week. Unbelievable. Isn't it unbelievable? It really is. So I'm going to put these on the map. Now, some of you have seen this. Some of you have never seen this. All right. Now here are all that, they're blue because they're sold. It's a pretty big area, but where's this guy's house? So we use location. It's a push pin at the top of the map. Oh my gosh, this will save you so much time. And then you're going to put the address of the house in. I'm using 35 Arlington. Now these are going to go into my CMA, Arlington Street. This is kind of, this would be a fun thing for you to do for your own house, because your house is probably worth a lot now. Now, beware, and I can't change this, is that this blue push pin is blue and everything else is blue. Can you see it over there? He's over here. Look, this is his neighbor. Can't get a better comp than that. He's right next door. See this guy? I don't know. Did you ever do this in Stratus where you drag over and it makes you crazy? It'll go away in a second. I usually use my shapes. It does take a little practice for this. Like all of these sold here could be good comps. You know, they're kind of the same size houses. They're pretty much the same price range. I'll do a radius. I usually do a radius. Believe me, if you're in the classroom with me, it takes me a while to get you to realize how to do it. Stratus doesn't make it that easy, but a little bit of practice, you got it. You click on the radius, and then you can't click on one of the houses or the push pin. It won't let you do it. So you got to get into the blank area here and drag. See, as I drag, come on. It tells me that's 0.6 of a mile. I know you can't see that. Usually go a half. Some people go more. I don't know. You know, in our area, there's so many houses, so you don't want to go too far. Okay. Now I grabbed them. It's like fishing for the comps. And then I go back to the list. Right, that blue drag disappeared. So these are kind of in my area and they're kind of in the same price range. So honestly, if you do statistics and counts right now, you're going to get statistics and counts just for those houses, which makes more sense, right? Because you might have, you know, waterfront or something else, you know, an ARIA, whatever. So now I have that. Oh, wow. This gives me an idea. The houses are going for 465. Taxes are a little under 10. They're just selling like this. Hot town, hot town. And then I could print it with my name on the bottom. Remember? So I want to take all of these and put them in the cart. I'm just going to take, are they all in Patchogue? Okay. This guy's in Holbrook. I don't want him. So I check them all and uncheck him. I probably went over. Now the carts are at the top. They're next to see your favorites. It looks like a little grocery cart. Click on that and create a new cart. I'll just say Patchogue, Arlington, or whatever. No one sees this, Arlington, whatever I want to call it. I think it's Arlington Street. Yep. Okay. And then I put it in. Here it is. So I have two other carts in here. Add it to that. Okay. Phew. Okay. I got that part, but now I want availables, right? Because I got to see what the competition's doing out there. So there's one more search that we're going to do, and I'm going to add it to the same cart, and that'll give me my comps. You can do pendings and expireds. Not a lot of expireds out there in this market, but I'm just going to do these two types, on the markets and sold. So we go into listings and search. Let me look at my chat. Let me see if you guys have any. All right, how do you email a few full houses at the same time? Okay, you need to take, John, you need to look at the video for the level 1 Stratus class that I did last month. It's called Stratus level 1, I think, or Intro to Stratus. It's located in the larealtor.com/COVID. Scroll all the way down, you'll see me. And then you can just take that at any time. And I do all that. It's called a prospect match. Anyway, I'm going to do availables, like what's happening. I do this by my house a lot. Because sometimes I'm not checking my area. I'm in a weird little village here, but I'm doing this guy's house. So Patchogue, right? I don't put a title date in because I just want to see what's happening in the market. I could put in, I didn't put a lot of criteria, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. Press submit. Again, I have a sold report and a price change report. I could do that, but that's not helping me right now. I want to put them on the map. Okay. Okay, these are red because they're for sale. There is a legend on the side here that tells you what colors they are. Okay, we did the first two, blue and availables. I didn't do any of the other ones. It says legend. It's easy to miss way over there. How do I find 35 Arlington Street? Now, I might remember it's over here somewhere, but you go to locations. You know my motto. I like to show you a couple times so you can remember because people forget. We will forget stuff. Arlington Street. Make sure I spelled it right. I did. Make sure you put the town in again, okay? Patchel will take you. If there's an Arlington Street in Canada, then you'll be there. You don't want to be there. All right, press find. Well, that's easier. It's blue on red. You know, I did this before the class and I said, oh my gosh, is this guy's house on the market? Can you see the push pin? This is his exact next door neighbor, which I didn't know. His house is up for sale. A perfect comp, if I could see one. It is 524. Wow, they're getting a decent amount over there too. So I'm just going to kind of grab this cluster right here. I don't even need any of these other ones. And this time I'm going to do a polygon. Now, I did the radius, which you drag from the middle out. Polygon is a click, click, click. It's a click, click. And some people are not good draggers. So you click on the polygon. It looks like a rectangular shape. And then you kind of like a spider web. You click. Oops, I just turned it off. You click. I'm just moving my mouse. I'm not dragging. Click. Like a spider web, right? Click. And then you end on the one you started on, and people forget that. Now you can print this map out too. It's great. It has listings on the bottom. You can see what properties they are. But for us today, and I'm limited time here, here they are. So look at this guy. This is on his street. Okay, I can't get a better comp than that. Now I can pick all of these. This guy might be a little overpriced for this house, but I'm going to leave it in there and I'm going to add it to the same cart. Remember, it's up at the top. And if I don't have a cart, I can add one, but I'm going to put it in the Patchogue Arlington, which I did with you. Whew, this is the hardest part of a CMA, getting comps, right? When you're in the CMA, now you can search in the CMA and that's perfectly fine. I'm showing you a different way. Just sometimes people freak out and they don't know where they are, then they hit the back button, then they lose everything. So you got to be careful. Okay, let's put this all together. Here is your Stratus CMA. You do have other CMAs like an RPR, which are more comprehensive. This is a simple one. I already started it. I changed the street number though, because I changed my mind. Now, what you do, when we do add edit in the next webinar, which is going to be next month, we have all these tabs, same exact design. So I don't go scrolling down because you get lost. I advise you to go across, okay, like this. So subject property, fill this in. There's a lot of stuff. Agent is you. Cover page looks like this. Get a picture of the house in there if you can. But the most important part is this one, the comparables, the comparatibles, right? And you can search in here. You can search public records, which I'm going to throw that at you because I want you to know how to do that. You can add an MLS number. That's the old fashioned way, but you can still do it because sometimes you forget a number and you got the wrong house coming up. But add from listing cart. Wow. Here is my cart and I add to the CMA and look at that. Is that unbelievable? I have all my comps there because I collected them ahead of time. Maybe I don't have time to do the CMA today. I could do it tomorrow. There might be something you missed though. These are on the markets. They have A's, they're called availables, and these are all closed. I have a great amount of comps here. I really don't need anything else. Make sure you save this because if you forget, you could lose it. Now, if you know or wanted to find out if there is a FSBO out there that sold their house and it's not on MLS, they gave you this in Stratus, and we always had this, to search a public record for a private listing. I'm going to do one for you. I'm going to put this address. You could put the address in. You don't have to do this part. I'm just adding this in. I'm going to put this guy's street on here, Patchogue. He lives in Arlington. So I'm really in public records. I guess that's what people get confused on. And then if you look down here, I'm on the CMA, Arlington. Originally, this was put into Stratus for the Hampton people, because, you know, some of them were on MLS, a lot of them weren't. Things are changing now. More and more of them are MLS. And how are they going to do a CMA? You can actually do a whole CMA, which I have done in Brooklyn, just using public records. Okay, I did a brownstone, 2 comps I found, private sales and public records, and we put the CMA together. So it is possible. Oh geez, I forgot something really important. I have to put my D date in here for sales, T minus 180. I always tell people, even if you don't remember how to do it, the way if you know, wow, I know there's a way to do it that is a part of learning. And then you can go and take the recording again, or get help, or ask somebody when you're taking a class or whatever. So these 3 houses sold in the last 6 months. So I'll just say, I'm not sure. This guy, he doesn't have a picture. Say he's a FSBO. That means for sale by owner, if you don't know. I want to add to the comps. So here we go. And it will add it in as a pub for public record. Isn't that kind of cool? So that you can incorporate public records into your MLS listings when there is a private sale. That's my point. That's what I want to show you. I'm going to take it out for now because it's already here, because I did check this already. I can remove it. All right. So we're going to go to the end and take a look at this. You can share it with a customer in Collab, a client, if you know Collab. And if you don't, you should take that class. You can text listings. You can invite clients. Very modern, part of Stratus. It is affiliated. The company came up with it. You can print it, or you can email it to somebody, or you can download it to your computer. So I am just going to, oops, I didn't want to do that. I want to print it so I could show you what it looks like if you've never seen it before. It's not bad look. I think it's nice. I like it. Your logo would be at the top. Your picture is at the bottom. You can fix any of this before you get your, you can change this letter. But you get a letter, you get table of contents, you get the subject property, which I didn't put anything in there. You get the side-by-sides. That's typical for a CMA, so that you can compare bedrooms and bathrooms and year built and all that stuff. But the most important part is this. It's the comparable summary report that comes up in Stratus. You could just print this page because it's going to give you averages for your solds. So my average solds are here, and my average on the markets are here. So depending upon the shape of the property, how the interior looks, things like that, you would probably come up with a price in between here. So people are still trying to get more money for their house. So this is the baby. This is the part that you want to look at. And then you get the medium reports for all the comps that you have, and a couple of charts in here. And that's it. So using the listing cart might be easier for you. But I like this too. It shows me the map of the comps that I picked. How'd that guy get in? Did I pick him? I don't remember picking him. Anyway, he slipped in there. Okay, and then the days on the market. Oh, one was on the market for over 300 days. Probably overpriced. All right, let me look at the chat. Let's see, you got any questions on that? I'm doing good. Is there a way to include original price and sold price to the statistics report? No, no, but that's a really good question. Or would I have to download Excel and run stats that way? Yeah, I use, these report, you can download just about everything in Stratus. And it goes to Excel, your listings, your expireds, you're on the markets, you're sold, public records. If you want to download your farm to Excel, you can do that too. So keep your eye out for that. Where to find I'll tell you again at the end where that is. So everybody hears me. So here's your download too. All right, I am doing, oh my gosh, I'm so on the mark with this. I wanted to show you one more thing before I conclude, and then I'm going to ask if anybody has any questions. The recording is located in LI Realtor, the website /COVID, okay? It's also on the Stratus Support Center, not yet. They're not there yet, so give us a couple days. I have the intro to Excel, I teach Excel. Intro to Stratus, and then the intermediate Stratus, and next month advanced Stratus. So hopefully I see you there. What do you do when you want to investigate a property that is not linked to the public records and you know it's on the market a million times, or you just want to know how many times it was listed, right? And you want to go back as far back as it goes. So here's a house, and if you've taken my classes, you know that I use this one. So this one is the Amityville Horror House. So I like to see how many times was that listed on our MLS, because it's been listed on our MLS. And it's been more than 2 years. So I need to go to what? The archives. So here, how do you do that? Available and unavailable, and check archives. So this way I see everything back 25 years. Before 25 years ago, we don't have the records, okay? 25 years is pretty good for us. So then I press continue. Now I'm in MLS right now because I want to see how many times it was listed. So you go to the archives, you pick available and unavailable. Now, where does the Amityville Horror House live? In Amityville. Oh, Amityville. And the street number is 108 Ocean. It's Ocean Avenue, but do not put Avenue in, you won't find it. Okay, because that's a separate field. Messes people up. And I could see that it was on the market 6 times. You see? 6 times. I believe this is the most recent one down here. It is. No, that isn't it. This was. Really interesting house because, it has a terrible history, and I don't know if it's haunted or not, but people don't want to live there. They want to live there, whatever the case may be. It sold. I did a paper on this years ago. I was doing a thing for college. Anyway, so this house sold in a bad market. This always got me. I know the agent, she sold it for almost $1 million. The market wasn't good. But the people who bought it for almost $1 million then sold it. They bought for 605. So what happened in a good market? So these are interesting. You can actually click on these and see the listings and so on. Let's see when this one was listed. This is an old one, I think. It was listed, this is 1995. So you see how far back? If I didn't go to the archives, I never would have seen this one. So that was a little extra for you. I threw in there. I am going to answer questions, and it is 1 minute from 1. So I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for joining my webinar. It will be recorded again. Should I say it again? In the LI Realtor COVID Hub site, and also in the support center in Stratus. All right, I am going to stop sharing. So you guys can leave anytime now. But if anybody has a question, I am looking at the chats, okay? All right, how do you show that thumbnail in the list view? Okay, I know exactly what you mean. You need to go to settings, appearance, and check where it says thumbnail photos. Otherwise, you don't get the photos. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Anybody? All right, amazing class. I love to hear that. I have so much information to share with you. Okay, I don't really see any questions. All right, folks, then I'm going to conclude. You do have it recorded so you can watch me all over again. And maybe I'll see you in December. Okay, happy holidays. Stay safe and have a great day.